back, Gothamites. If you're new here, I'm London, aka History of the Batman. As I'm sure all of you know, on Monday, November 12th, legendary creator Stan Lee passed away at the age of 95. This has taken a huge toll on myself, as I'm sure it has for many people all around the world, since his contributions to not just Marvel Comics, but to American comic books in general was tremendous and outstanding. For many, I'm sure, know Stan Lee as one of the founding fathers of Marvel Comics, and rightfully so. He wrote his first story for Timely Comics, which turned into Atlas Comics, which turned into what we now know as Marvel Comics, in 1941's Captain America issue 3. As he grew from fetching people's lunches to becoming the editor-in-chief at Marvel, he collaborated with other legends such as Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Don Heck, Gene Colan, and John Romita, and they all collectively created the Marvel Universe that we know and love today. From characters such as the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Black Panther, the Hulk, and of course, Stan's literal child, Spider-Man, and so many other fan-favorite personas. From creating the Marvel method to his now iconic inserts of Stan's soapbox, Stan Lee wasn't just a visionary, but also a fighter against bigotry and racism, something we all value and appreciate so much, especially today. While Stan Lee is a Marvel god, he has also contributed a lot to the DC Universe as well. Most notable is that from 2001 and 2002, DC asked Stan Lee to do a short series titled Just Imagine Stan Lee Creating the DC Universe, where he took several of the most iconic figures in DC's canon and reimagined their origin story, their look, and abilities, and it all came together in one cohesive universe, which currently Grant Morrison has dubbed All on Earth 6. So for this video, to honor Stan Lee, we will briefly discuss his Just Imagine series, including his take on the Batman, and see how, although they are radically different, each still holds the same foundation that their original DC Comics creators gave them. But before we jump into a whole new world, why don't you subscribe to this channel and become a part of this wonderful Gothamite community. Our first Just Imagine is of Batman, which was illustrated by Joe Kubert and was the first issue of the Just Imagine series, which came out in September 2001. Are you surprised that Batman's the first? You shouldn't be. Now, I have discussed this particular Just Imagine story in one of my oldest videos on this channel, where I discuss diversity within comic book and comic book culture. And I use this as one of my main examples. I will link that in the description below if you want to check it out in all of my purple-haired glory. I kind of miss that color. I'm trying to think of a new color after this blue. I'm not really sure. I'm just being really adventurous lately with my hair, so. But back to Batman. Stan Lee's Batman is a young African-American man named Wayne Williams that was framed for a crime that he didn't commit by Hans Horgan, and Wayne was sent to prison. While he was in prison, he was friended by a scientist named Frederick Grant and a little bat that sat on the windowsill of his jail cell, and with the help of these two began training his body and mind. Because he saved the warden's life during a prison riot, Wayne was released early out of prison and began his new life. He slowly became the world's greatest professional wrestler, known to everyone as Batman. Inspired by his little bat friend, his look as Batman literally took on the aesthetics of a bat, from the face to the giant wings to his body. In a sense, he kind of looked like Man-Bat, but I suppose more formed with bat features. With his now money and fame, once Grant was out of prison, he helped in Wayne's now crusade to go help the people of the city. His first mission was to hunt down Hans, the man who framed him, and after a scuffle, Hans falls to his death. Now that Wayne doesn't have vengeance in his heart after his enemy's demise, he continues to make his city safe as Batman with the aid of scientist Grant. Now, Batman isn't the only character within the Batman mythos that Stan Lee reimagined. Our next Just Imagine is Robin, illustrated by John Byrne from March of 2002. With his real name unknown, as a newborn dropped off at the Church of Eternal Empowerment Orphanage, he was given the nickname Robin because there would always be a Robin perched outside his window or even on his crib when he was a baby. Robin was very antisocial and had a rather dark personality. Because of this, villain Reverend Dominic Dark was able to manipulate this darkness within Robin and take control of his mind to do his own evil deeds. Throughout his journey within this universe, Robin tries to fight off this darkness with the good that's still left inside of him. And if he doesn't, he will remain with Dark's mystic hold on him. Another Batman family character that Stan Lee reimagined in this series is Catwoman. This one-shot was illustrated by Chris Bachalo in July of 2002. After model Joni Jordan and her pet cat are struck by lightning while being bathed in a green mist, the two beings become one, transforming into Catwoman. It is now Joni's mission to keep the balance between humans and the animal kingdom from both's biggest threat, Reverend Dark. Now, if you haven't noticed, Reverend Dominic Dark becomes the ultimate baddie within this Stan Lee universe. Along with Batman and Batman family characters, Stan Lee reimagines other members of the Justice League within several one-shot graphic novels. In January 2002, Stan Lee and illustrator Jim Lee present young Maria Mendoza from Peru is given a magical staff by the sun goddess, which transforms her into Earth's most powerful heroine, now dubbed Wonder Woman, in order to fight the evil and powerful Armando Guites after he destroyed sacred Peruvian lands. In November of 2001, Stan Lee and illustrator John Buscema created Salden, a man from a distant planet with no superpowers, but seeks revenge against the villain Gorak, who murdered his wife. The two begin fighting on a spacecraft that is filled with this mysterious green element, and the spacecraft crash lands on Earth. Between the crash and the green element, Salden is now given these amazing abilities and is able to defeat Gorak. Salden, aka Superman, with his new powers, not only tries to help the people of Earth stop crime and war, but also is on a mission to try to find a way to return back to his home planet. In January 2002, Stan Lee and illustrator Kevin Maguire create young college student Mary Maxwell, who had to flee to Australia with her father, a stealth scientist whose research consisted of altering people's DNAs in order to survive time travel. However, Stealth was trying to steal his research for evil purposes, so they had to leave the country. Mary's father's work helped save her life when, while in Australia, she is exposed to this green element within the coral reef. Mixing her DNA with some from a hummingbird, Mary then gained the power of speed and became faster than light itself. However, as with many characters, tragedy struck Mary when her father was murdered by the members of Stealth. Mary, now taking up the superhero identity of the Flash, not only seeks vengeance over her father's death, but also becomes a hero among the people. In June 2002, Stan Lee with illustrator Scott McDaniel created Raymond, or Rob Raymond, an environmental scientist who combined his DNA with the DNA of a dolphin. While nothing initially happened, of course this mysterious green element comes into play once again when Raymond is being chased by a bull shark and crosses paths with a green algae. Raymond then transforms into Aquaman, who, like Catwoman in this universe, is in tune with both human and sea creatures, while now being one of the most powerful beings on the entire planet. Along with his policeman brother Frank, the two work together to stop crime within their city, including the crimes happening with Reverend Dominic Dark and his church. In December 2001, Stan Lee and illustrator Dave Gibson created archaeologist Len Lewis, who traveled to Africa in search for the mighty Tree of Life. When Len actually found it, Reverend Dark and his associates tried to kill him, but the Tree of Life literally saved his life making him half human and half energy straight from Mother Nature. Naming himself Green Lantern due to the symbol that was created on his chest, courtesy of the Tree of Life. Oh, this guy, if you can see. His goal, like with many in this universe, is to bring balance between the human race and nature itself. After becoming Green Lantern, Lin realizes that in order to actually defeat Reverend Dark, he needs to create a Justice League consisting of him, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, and the Flash. Other parts of this Just Imagine series focuses on the JLA working together and other classic characters such as Shazam and Sandman, ultimately creating an entire universe using these iconic DC characters, all from the legendary mind of Stan Lee. While Stan Lee's Just Imagine reimagined these characters in a whole new way, they all still kept their same foundation. The most important element being that each and every person wanted to assure that the people of Earth were safe and protected from evil, and wanted to bring happiness and balance to everyone's lives. Stan Lee has also contributed to stories in Detective Comics along with this contained series within the DC Universe. I know for many they want to place Stan Lee in this Marvel Comics box and want to make it some type of rivalry thing between DC and Marvel. You guys need to stop that. Because in actuality, all Stan wanted to do in his life is to entertain people with his creations and bring to life heroes and characters that fans like myself, like you, like people all over the world will bring joy to their lives. And for all of this and everything else he has brought to life, we thank him for helping shape the American comic book genre and the superhero genre that we all love and celebrate so much today. If there is a heaven, I hope Stan is up there with his lovely wife Joan, and I truly hope that Stan is able to talk to Bill Finger and tell him how much his Batman has influenced so many lives here on Earth, including my own. Thanks so much for watching this video, learning about Stan Lee's DC Comics universe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a bat thumbs up. As always, all of my social media is linked in the description below, so why don't you give it a follow, including on Instagram at History of the Batman. Check out my reviews for Comicosity, and of course, please subscribe to this channel. It would mean so much if you became a part of this wonderful Batman community. Thank you so much for watching, and we will have more History of the Batman soon, right here on YouTube. Remember, Gothamites, it's all about peace, love, and Batman. Excelsior! Bye.